Episode 1. Teens are smarter than we think. Values. We are quite literally the trolls of our generation. We aren't so good with values, or at least what we value. We are obsessed with how others view us, and I also feel like sometimes you can't ask a question or make a comment without being canceled or made fun of. It's actually irritating, because we try to create a better, accepting world, yet we limit others' questions, their curiosity. I think that's where our generation falls. That's why people call our generation sensitive, call our generation this, that. I think that we need to stop doing that because it really does ruin our messages. It ruins why we are so sensitive, why we have morals, because it just makes everything sensitive. It makes everything a touchy subject. And I think that's what teens do nowadays. And I think, well, this goes into the second section, opportunities and exposure, which is what I wanted to talk about. I think now education is more prevalent. It's more cool to know, like, your facts, know what's going on in the world. Like when Biden and Trump were going head and head, a lot of teenagers, a lot of young adults were talking about it, and it's not exactly rare to see, but there was so many people involved. There were children involved, and it was interesting. It's cooler to read. It's cooler to know what's going on. It's cooler to know your facts, and I think that's good. Also, else that teens know now is about business, because I think, like, with business, obviously there's a bunch of teenagers and young adults that are in the YouTube business, in the Instagram business or TikTok for business, and they're able to make money. They're able to get those millions of followers, because there's always an Emma Chamberlain, or I think her name was Tesla Dunn, or other names that I can't think of right now. But they're always going to be there, able to switch the game, be able to make money from a young age. It's really good to see. And what's also good to see is people being able to spend well with their money and be able to stay at the top for a while. I think people discredit a lot of TikTokers, even though I hate TikTokers so much. I'm a TikToker myself. I'm not even gonna lie, because I love TikTok, and a non Charlie D'Amelio way. I like TikTok, and nowadays I feel like TikTokers are making a lot of money. Like I just said, Charlie D'Amelio, and like Addison Rae, they're able to make so much money off dancing, which is pretty cool. You're also able to make money off of drawing, just standing there and lip syncing, and also your own music, which is pretty cool. I think with TikTok, well, there's many stars. Like there's that I didn't name, but let's go somewhere else. Then there's Instagram. With Instagram, you can become an influencer. You could try on clothes, be an Instagram model nowadays. You can put out your craft, you can put out your art, or you could put out your music, get more followers. Then there's other apps that are just that are very similar that you can make money on. I think since they're put out for kids kids are now able to make their own bank, their own business. My third thing I'm going to be talking about is experiences. I think when we talk about experiences with teenagers, obviously it goes to school, and it obviously goes to other places like home. It goes uh, life in general, how it is for them, for me. But I think as teenagers now who live in a day and age where there's cell phones, there's iPads, there's computers, we're a lot more isolated, and we're not so much of the social butterflies that we show. Social awkward butterflies, but I think, yeah, we're not as open. We don't talk about things. We don't have as many friends. And I think now, what also I want to talk about is that it's not worse physically, because I feel like in the past, school systems have been really bad and horrible. People getting bullied. I think there are rules against it, but I think it does still happen. Of course, stuff are still gonna happen, like race problems, homophobic comments in school, homophobic acts that happen, fights about being a different gender, a different sexuality, different ethnicity. But I think now it's normalized, which is something I don't like. I think it's something that should never be normalized. It shouldn't. I think it's incorrect. It's bad. Because why are you normalizing getting bullied as, oh, well, I gotta glow up? We should try to stop those bullies. We should try to stop what's going on. We should try to sign things that say you get suspended if you bully someone. I think it's a difference between mental and physical violence. I think right now there's a lot of mental violence going on. I don't want to sound like a Gen Z, even though I am one, but I think now everybody's very sensitive. Everybody's it's funny because we're like sensitive, but we're desensitized by a lot of things that happen in the media. We don't mind hurting people's feelings, but also we've seen so much on the internet that we're exposed to so much that it changes our point of view for life. So yeah. And that goes into friendships. I think we have a hard time producing friendships organically, because if you aren't going to a school that provides your already niche, I would say, of a group, you have to be popular. You have to abide to the standards that are set in that school. You have to be blonde. You have to be tall. You have to be probably not tall, because tall people get a lot of flag. I would know, but you have to be pretty. You have to have blue eyes, which I hate to say, and you have to be skinny. It's a European standard for beauty right now, and I think that's what we see in our media all the time. We see Kim Kardashian, which obviously she's not white. I'm not sure if she's mixed with white. I don't think so. Right? No. But you can see that the way she's fixed her face is into a more European beauty standard. Alike from a lot of celebrities. A lot of celebrities do that, and I think it's set a standard. It's set a Madison Beer standard. It's set a Charlie D'Amelio standard. It's set many people stand. Not that those are the bad people, but it sets something. It sets what we're supposed to look like, and it changes our school system in ways. Because people don't want to hang out with people who are weaker, and people tend to be weaker when they're insecure. Actually, I don't want to say that, because I feel like a lot of bullies when I did go to when I go to school. I did go to school. I still go to school. I just go to school online. But when I did go to school, a lot of bullies they were I lost my train of thought, but they were like they fed off of power. Like they wanted that power. They had those insecurities, and they pushed them onto other people. And that's what bullies typically do. I mean, and it's something you should take into account when you are being bullied. It's not your fault, and it shouldn't ever seem like it's your fault. And I think teachers don't really help at all at times. They sometimes even watch what's happening and don't say anything about it. And I think if you're going to be a teacher, it's not to not say anything. That's not part of your job. You're supposed to talk about what's going on. You're supposed to tell a principal, a higher administrator than you, about what's going on to the student. Because you need to create a safe space, a safe environment for people, which I don't think happens now. Again, I do have to say, I think it's like the phrase, we have like a silver spoon in our mouth or something, or whatever. That's true. We do. We're very privileged. I'm very privileged. A lot of Gen Z is privileged in ways. They don't have to go through what people born in the 80s to 90s had to go through. They don't have to be scared of walking. Well, let's not say that, because there's a bunch of stuff going on with walking outside in New York, and but yeah, in ways they don't have to be scared as the older generation was. So I think teens are smarter, but I think we need to use that to our advantage more. So yeah. All right. Bye. All right, bye. Episode 1. Teens are smarter than we think. Okay, that was my first episode. I mean, it was kind of bad. I mean, like, I'm definitely gonna fix a lot as I go on. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. Bye.